2-3 classes are remaining to complete the course. Okay. So this is the satisfying this pair, right? Omega r is the rth natural frequency and Vr is the rth mode shape or eigen function. Okay, and this is similarly this is for the sh mode. Okay, so this should be satisfied. Similarly for the sh mode, I can write, because these are nothing but the solution coming from this solution of this, so that must be satisfied. Right? Vsx divided by dx2 omega square mx Psx. Correct? Okay. So this I'll call it 1, this let's say 2 question number, this let's say question number 3. Okay. Now multiplying equation number 2, that is this equation. Multiplying this equation, this is for VR, right? So I'll multiply this by Vs, okay, Vsx, okay, and integrating by parts over the entire domain. My domain is 0 to x to L. X is from 0 to L, right? The L is the length of the beam. Okay. So I'll multiply this equation by Vsx and do the integration over the domain using by parts. So what is basically I am saying? So I am writing here the first. Okay, the by parts will be for this part, right? Here nothing by parts. So I am writing this on the left hand side. So basically integral of 0 to L omega r square mx, right? I can take out omega r square outside because that is constant. Okay, that I will do it. Okay, then Vrx Vsx dx equals to integral of 0 to L Vsx then d2 by dx2 by dx2 ei d by r ei x d2 vrx dx2. If you are facing any difficulty in understanding, please stop me and ask the question, no problem. Okay. But since it is straightforward, I am going a little bit faster. Okay, you see, so this is the equation. I have multiplied this equation by Vsx, okay, and integrated over the domain, that is 0 to L. That is what it is. I have written the right hand side first. Okay, here it is as a left hand side and this one. Now I will do the by parts integration of the right hand side. Okay, since omega r square is constant, doesn't depend upon the x square, I mean the x or the span, so I can say this is omega r square. Omega r square, right? Omega r square. Okay. Now I will do the integration by parts. So what will happen? So I'll take out Psx outside. Then it will be, so one derivative will less, right? Please see it carefully. Very simple if you see it carefully. Okay. I would try to remember, then it will be difficult. So one derivative will be less, this will be this. So this boundary term 0 to L minus, okay? Correct me if I am wrong anywhere, okay? So then it will be integral of 0 to L, one derivative, right? So this will be dVsx by dx, and then this one, because integral of this thing is d dx eix d2 vrx by dx. No, this bracket is not required. Into dx. Any issue? Any issue by anybody? Please pick up.
Yes.
No. Okay. So then further integrating over. So this term will be there. So now I am writing in a little bit, sorry, dx eix. My font will be a little bit smaller. Okay, 0 to L minus. This will come out dVsx by dx, and this will be integrated. So that will give us eix d2 vrx dx2. This evaluated between 0 to L, then minus, but since minus is there, it will be plus, right? Plus integral of 0 to L, its derivative d2 vsx by 2x2. Okay, then this will be eix, okay, d2 vrx by dx2 dx. Any issue by anybody? Integrating by parts twice. Okay, so this is my original equation. by satisfying this eigenvalue problem. This is already well known to you. Okay, I am satisfying two sets of eigen pair, that is omega r square Vrx and omega s square Vsx. So I can get equation number 2 and equation number 3. Now I am taking equation number 2, multiplying this by Vsx and integrating over the domain 0 to L and doing it the by parts integration of this. Okay, so I have got it. Agree? Anybody has any difficulty starting from equation number 1 to here? Understand? Please let me know. Okay. Now this is integral term and this is the boundary term. Okay, 0 to L, 0 to L. Okay. Now look at carefully. Okay, for any set of boundary condition. Okay, for any set of boundary condition, for simplicity, let us say fixed beam. Okay, this boundary term will vanish. For any set of, you can, for cantilever you can see, for simply supported also you can see. Just try to see, this will vanish. Okay, just check it. Okay. You see, for fixed beam, what will happen? V at the, L0 and V at L equals to 0 and V at, and X equals to 0 is 0 and V at L equals to 0 also 0, right? Okay, and then its derivative is also 0, slope is also 0, right? Fixed and beam. So this quantity at X equals to 0 and X equals to L 0, and this quantity at X equals to 0 and X equals to L also 0. Okay, for fixed beam. So that means this and this is 0. Any other boundary condition, cantilever beam or simply supported you try, will get 0. This boundary term will be 0. Agree or not agree?
Yes.
Yes. So what we are getting? Omega r square, integral of 0 to mx, Vrx, Vsx, dx equals to integral of 0 to L. What is there? So I will write EI first. EIX d2y Vx to Vrx. So not y, sorry. V Sx dx2 and d2 Vrx dx2 dx. Okay, equation number 4. Similarly, by doing the similar operation for this one, by multiplying equation 3 with Vrx, like you see the same analogy like for multi-degree of freedom system, multiplying by UR transpose and the second one US transpose, right? You remember? If you remember it, then it is in a similar manner. Okay, not same but similar manner. So now equation multiplying equation 3 by Vrx and again doing integration by parts twice, we'll get omega s square mx Vsx, the same thing. Vsx is interchangeable, right? So I can write in a similar way. Vrx Vsx dx equals to integral of 0 to L Eix. You'll get the same thing actually. Okay, d2v, you can check it. You will get actually d2 Vrx. This one here, but that doesn't matter, right? Basically, substituting instead of r, I am just substituting s, right? Because for the s mode here. Vrx dx square dx. Equation 5. Now 4 minus 5. So all are agree till equation 5, starting from equation 1. Anybody has problem or any difficulty in understanding what is going on? So many equations, but nothing, right? It's just writing big expressions. It is straightforward. Any problem? No problem. So 4 minus 5, what will get? I'll get omega r square minus omega s square integral of 0 to L mx Vrx Vsx dx equals to 0. Correct? Right? Now, if r and r is not equal to s, that means r and s are the two distinct modes. Then this is non-zero. Then this has to be 0. Right? Integral of 0 to L mx. So omega r is not equal to omega s if r is not equal to s. Vrx, Vsx dx equals to 0. That's all. Equation number 6. So that is the orthogonality of the eigenfunction with respect to mass. Mx, Vrx, Vsx dx. Please remember UR transpose m into Us equals to 0, right? If r not equal to s. Simple analysis. So what we got? 0 to L mx Vrx Vsx dx equals to 0 for r not equal to s. Similar to your multi-degree of freedom system, m us equals to 0 for r not equal to s. Eigenvector, mass matrix, rth mode, sth mode case. Okay, here it is similar type. Okay, and there also us transpose MUR is same because of symmetry of the mass matrix. So simple analysis is here there. So I mean RS interchange doesn't matter. Okay, got it? Now we already proved that if my eigenfunctions are mass normalized, Vrx into Vrx for the two same mode, that means when r equals to s, what is that? What is on the right hand side?
1, sir.
1 must, if I do mass normalized. Okay, otherwise there will be some non-zero value. Okay, okay, so that in two combination in combined form I can write dx delta rs Kronecker delta. Okay, that is r equal to, so delta rs equals to 0 if r not equal to s, delta rs equal to 1, r equal to s. Understood? Which is same as UR transpose MUR s equals to delta rs. Okay, Kronecker delta. Okay, so orthogonality with respect to mass is proved. Any issue here? Okay, so this equation I will say equation number 6 is done. The 7. Now substituting equation 7 in this expression. Not this expression. Where is that one? This one. Equation number, no, integral, right? Yeah, I can substitute here, I can substitute here, doesn't matter. Okay, so if I substitute here, so this is what? This is Kronecker delta, right? Mx, Vr, Vx, dx is Kronecker delta. So I will get, so that means this equals to omega r square into omega delta, or I can write this also equals to omega r square into Kronecker delta, because these are boundary terms getting 0. So substituting equation there, I will what I will get 0 to L Vrx or Vsx, doesn't matter. Okay, d2 by dx2 Eix d2 Vrx dx. That also same I can write as Eix d2 Vrx by dx2 into d2 Vsx into dx2 equals to omega r square into Kronecker delta. Another orthogonality. Equation number 8. So 7 and 8 are the two orthogonality relations. Any issue with equation 8? All understood? How it is coming?
Yes.
Anybody? Anyone else has problem? Please tell me. If I know most of the people have understood, but if someone has still difficulty, please ask me, then I will quickly repeat whatever I have discussed so far. Okay, nobody has any. So 7 and 8 are the orthogonality of the mode sets. Okay, that we have. So similar Lagrange expression is, just for your information, is that delta rs and UR transpose k into US is equals to omega r square delta rs. These are the two expressions we written for the multi-degree of freedom discrete system, and that is for continuous system equation number 7 and 8. Okay, and these again the orthogonality relationship is so powerful. We have seen, right, in multi-degree of freedom system what it can do, right? We can just uncouple the equation of motion and get a one by one single degree of freedom equation, which we know what is the solution is, right, for each. Okay, and then you can combine the solution for each equation to get the total response. So similar thing also applicable here. We'll study that. Okay. So now we'll discuss about the response of a system by modal analysis. Okay. So the system can be subjected to let's say any cantilever beam or a simply supported beam. So this type of two beams we have discussed. Okay. So we can study other types of beam by incorporating the boundary condition. Right. Just you have to change the boundary condition, derive the characteristic equation, solve it to find out the natural frequencies, and from the using that also you can find out the eigenfunction also, right? That is the motion. Okay, so I have done for simply supported beam and cantilever beam. Okay, you can try it for, as I told, for free beam. You can do it for fixed beam. Okay, so those many other examples you can try. Okay, so now we will talk about the response analysis using modal superposition method. Okay, so as we did for the multi-degree of freedom discrete system, here also we will obtain the responses as a superposition of the system eigenfunctions multiplied by the corresponding time dependent modal coordinate or generalized coordinate. You remember we used to write x equals to phi into q, right? Capital phi into q. Okay. Here q is the modal coordinate or generalized coordinate and phi is the modal matrix, right? Remember? Okay. So that superposition we are using, that is a modal summation of modes. Now how many modes that we are going to consider? That initial few modes I told, that is a good enough. So here it is actually infinite number of modes, right? But again, initial few modes are good enough for get a reasonable answer. Okay, but let us formulate for infinite number of modes. Then you can truncate it as per our requirement. Okay. Okay. So let us first consider a uniform beam, and whether it is simply supported or cantilever or any other boundary condition doesn't matter. Only the your natural frequencies and mode shape or eigenfunction will modify. That's all. Other governing equation, then orthogonality, those are not going to change, right? Boundary condition will change, and due to boundary condition, the eigenfunction and the eigenvalues, those are going to change. So let us discuss about the simply supported beam. Okay, that is the both and hinged. Okay, subjected to external force. So I will now summarize it. Okay, before going into that, I will summarize it. So simply supported beam. Now you have to tell me one by one equation. Simply supported beam, uniformly distributed load, that is Fxt, it is subjected. Okay, right? And uniform. It's a beam is uniform. Okay, uniform beam subjected to this loading, and it is simply supported. So first one is the governing differential equation. Differential equation. Tell me what is the governing differential equation. I will summarize it now. So please see carefully, then it will be complete for you, right? So what is the governing differential equation? Tell me.
EI V power 4 V by dx power 4 is equal to x.
Slowly, EI
D power 4 V by dx power 4.
D power 4 V.
Yes, sir.
D or del, right? Del 4.
Yes, sir.
Del 4 V by del x 4 plus
m into dou square v by dou t square.
M into rho square V, here xt, sorry, 1 minute. This will be xt, right? Partial. X and t, function of x and t. So again it is a small v, right? Try to remember. Del t2, right? Time equals to fxt, right?
Yes, sir.
This is the equation. Let us call it 1. First is done. Then initial condition. Two initial condition. I am summarizing. Initial condition is very simple. So v for any value of x but time 0 equals to, let's say, v0 x. Another one is v dot. That is basically, let us write it in a proper manner. Okay. So I'll write it here or here. So del v xt by del t evaluated at time t equal to 0. Take the differentiation, so they will get the velocity. So let's say this is v0 x 2. Boundary conditions. 4 boundary conditions for simply supported beam, right? So in one end that is the v is 0, right? So v at x equals to 0 for any time is 0. And their bending moment is also 0, right? That is ei del 2 vxt by del t2, sorry, del x2, sorry. Evaluated at x equals to 0 is 0. V at L comma t equals to 0. And ei del 2 vxt by del x2 evaluated at x equals to L equals to 0. Okay. So please try to write by your own this type of all those equations, okay, by just drawing the free body diagrams and using the notations without seeing the book. Then it will be understanding will be clear for you, and you if you make some mistakes, then you go to the books or notes or whatever. Okay. Equation number 3. Okay. I'm just summarizing here, nothing else. All the things you have discussed so far. This is governing differential equation. Fourth order in space, second order in time. This is initial condition, two initial condition, 4 boundary condition. These are geometric or essential boundary condition. These two are the force boundary condition or natural boundary condition. Next is the natural frequency. What is natural frequency? Omega r. Tell me. Simply supported beam.
So pi square r square by l square.
R square pi square by L square root over ei by m, right?
Yeah.
Equation number what? 4. For r equal to 1, 2, so on, so forth. Natural frequency already obtained by solving the characteristic equation. Remember, sin beta is equal to 0. Then mass normalized mode. Mass normalized mode. That is Vrx. What is that?
Root 2 by ml.
Root over 2 by ml sin r pi x by l, r equal to 1 to so on so forth. Equation number 5. Okay. Summarize. Governing differential equation, initial condition, boundary condition, natural frequency, mass normalized mode. Remember, for simply supported beam. Okay. Uniform simply supported. Then what is the meaning? Orthogonality that we have just discussed. Okay. Just discuss or not? Just discussed, right? Orthogonality. Orthogonality of normal modes. What is that? Integral 0 to L, that is very straightforward. Vrx, Vsx, dx, delta is chronic continuity. And integral of 0 to L, there are two expressions there. Vrx, ei, or Vsx, whatever. Vsx we have written now. What is that called? Vsx, Vrx, Vsx, Eix. So uniform beam, right? So Esx is not required to write here. Mx is not required to write here. Uniform beam is M, Ei. What is that? D2, right? Or D4? D4 or D4? D4. It should be D4. Some mistake is there. So D4. Ei is constant, should be D4, right? D4. D4 Vrx by Vx4 dx equals to integral 0 to L ei d2 Vsx by dx2 d2 Vrx by dx2 dx equals to omega r square Lrs. This combination equation number. This is you can say 6. This you can say 7. Doesn't. Okay. Just summarizing. So these are the things. Okay. That might be helpful for our analysis. Now according to according to modal analysis, right, or mode superposition. So modal analysis to find out the response of a continuous system as a superposition of the modes. So we will assume that my response Vxt, right, V at spatial at x and time t, any time t, summation of r equal to 1 to infinity, because there are infinite number of modes, okay, r equal to 1 to infinity Vrx and modal coordinate either q or eta, okay, whatever you prefer, let's say qrt, okay, this is the equation number 8. Okay, r equal to 1 to infinity. Please try to recollect. So there I used to write, although it is confusing bit, but there I used to write xt is equals to, they are in the vector form, right? That equals to u1 q1t, right? Plus u2 q2t plus u3 q3t and so on and so forth, and that can be written in the matrix form as this, right? U into q, modal matrix into the generalized coordinate or the modal coordinate, okay? Similarly here for infinite number. There it is not infinite, depending upon the number of degrees of freedom. Got it? Very simple. Now we have almost done. Now I will substitute this equation 8 because this is my assumed solution, right? Equation 8 in the governing differential equation, that is equation number 1. Correct? Substitute it. Please substitute it and tell me what you are getting. Substituting that modal solution in this equation. Okay. Governing differential equation. Straightforward, right? So for your convenience, let me write there the equation of motion. Del 4 Vxt by del x4 plus m del 2 Vxt by del t2 is equal to Fxt. Substitute this in here and tell me what you are. So obviously summation will be there. Let us write this one first because mass, you understanding that you will get mass into acceleration first, so that's why we can write first. So summation of r equal to 1 to infinity, m is there, right? Then Vxt, I am putting in this. So derivative with respect to t partial. So this one will derivative. So Vrx will be outside, okay? So Vrx, it will be d2 v, no sorry q, d2 q, right, because v into q, d2 qrt by dt2 plus summation, I am writing this one first, then I will write this one, okay, r equal to 1 to infinity, then so I will substitute here ei, okay. Vrx will be there, qrt will be differentiated, so d4 Vrx by dx4 into qrt equals to f of x. Any wrong is here, let's check it. qrt ei, then Vr will be here, Vrx4, correct, right? Anybody has any problem? This is the modal superposition. Substituting this in the governing differential equation. That is equation number 1. I am writing again here 1. This is the governing differential equation. Okay. I'll get this. Any issue with this expression? Any problem?
No, sir.
Okay. If no problem, multiplying this by Vsx and integrating over the domain and invoking the orthogonality condition. Multiply this equation number 9 by Vs. Okay, Vsx. So what I'll get, and then integrating. So I'll just writing for one line. Okay. So it will be summation of r equal to 1 to infinity m Vsx Vrx dx. This is time dependent, so the domain integration will not come. d2 qrt by dt2 plus integral of 0 to L summation of r equal to 1 to infinity ei. So there is a, I'm multiplying this, right? Just 1 minute. Multiplying by Vsx. So Vsx ei d4 Vrx by dx4 dx time dependency qrt equals to vsx fxt. Correct or not? Multiplying equation 9 by vsx and integrating over the domain 0 to l. Correct? Any problem? No problem. Okay. So now you see what is going here and use the orthogonality. We know that this is with conical delta, right? If r equals to s, then only this quantity will be 1, otherwise all the case it will be 0, right? So r equal to 1 to infinity. So all other terms except when r equals to s, so r equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like you put, when r equal to s, then only it will be 1, right? Understood? Okay, so I can write this as a delta 1 basically, if r equal to s. So then it is basically d2 qrt invoking the orthogonality condition, right? Plus, okay. Similarly, the second one, again vsx ei d4 vx by dx4. Just go to this one, the second expression, right? This one. This equals to omega r square into chronic delta. Chronic delta means this equals to 1 if r equal to s, otherwise it is 0. So all in all summation it will vanish except when r equal to s. So what is remaining? So this will be omega r square when r equal to s, right? This will be 1, this will be omega r square when r equal to s. Correct? Omega r square qrt equals to v r equal to s. So I can write vrx into f of xt. Correct? And let us call this right hand side. So what I can write? Now are you getting the similar expression for single degree of freedom system? QR. QRT, time dependent. Integral, integral over the domain. Sorry, one mistake is here, right? What is the integration? You should correct it, right? Correct. It's integrating over the whole expression, right? Okay. Actually, I'm writing here 0 to dx. Okay. Where QRT, I'm just defining like this. What is this? Equation of a single degree of freedom system. You already know, right, how to solve it. So for r equal to 1, 2, so on, so on. So first equation will be omega 1 square, q1t, q1t, q2, second equation, omega 2 square, q2t, q2t, and so on, so forth. Infinite number of such equations, single degree, not required. First 10 mode or 20 mode you take, you find out q1, q2, q3 like that. Once you obtain q1, q2, q3, put it back here. This is known to you or not known to you? Vrx, known to you, right? Known or unknown?
No, sir.
Vrx is known. Yeah, this is eigenfunction, mass normalized eigenfunction. Now we have obtained this by solving that each single degree of freedom system equation. Put it here, get the response. That's all. They're all single degree of freedom equation, one by one equation just. These are known to you, omega 1 square, right, from eigenvalue analysis. Okay. And the right hand side is known to you because right hand side is nothing but integral of 0 to L Vx Fx dx. The loading will be given to you. Loading function, right? And this is eigenvectors. So not for the vector, eigenfunction or the mode set. Okay. How elegant it is. So powerful is the orthogonality of the mode sets or eigenfunction. Okay. So here, but to solve this, so we need the initial displacement and velocity, right? So that means basically we need q r0 and q r0 dot. At time t equal to 0, what is the q r0? And like we did for the multi-degree of freedom system. In a similar manner, initial displacement and initial velocity in the modal or generalized coordinate is required. Okay, because we know the initial condition at this coordinate, right? V. Where is the initial condition? Go back here, equation number 2. That's the initial condition. Everything I have summarized. So you know Vx0 and derivative of the V at time t equal to 0. But I have to find out Q in the generalized coordinate or modal coordinate to solve these individual equations. Okay. how to get that. Okay. So write that equation again. So that means what I have to find out? I have to find out QR0, which is nothing but QR at time t equal to 0. So there is the initial generalized displacement. QR0 dot is nothing but Q derivative of this evaluated time t equal to 0, initial generalized velocity. Okay? But we know V at x and 0, right? Okay. That is nothing but I told the V0 or something, right? So that is nothing but again summation of r equal to 1 to infinity, because this I can represent it like this. Vrx and Q, right? QR at time t equal to 0. Okay? And that I am calling it as, this is a notation, nothing but QR0. Okay. So this is given to you. You have to find out this. You cannot find out, right? Normally you cannot find. You have to incorporate the orthogonality condition. Although this is known to you, straight away you cannot find out this. This is known to you. This is known to you. How to get this? Okay. Just use orthogonality condition, multiplying both sides by m into ysx and integrate over the domain again. Okay. Use the orthogonality condition. What you will get? So you see on the left hand side you will get integral of m v0 v, sorry, not y, it's v, vsx dx is equals to, so right hand side again it will be integral of 0 to L v m vsx, right? So m summation, just a minute, r equal to 1 to infinity m vsx vrx dx into qrg, right? Okay. So now again you see here again the orthogonality condition, if you invoke when r equal to s, then only 1, otherwise it is s. Okay. So that I can write q r0, that equals to nothing but integral of 0 to L m v0 into v rx dx, because s equals to r, right? That in that condition, the other right hand side, this quantity will be 1, and I have made the initial displacement. Similarly, I can find out the initial velocity in the modal coordinate or generalized coordinate. M is known to you, V naught is given to you, right? Initial displacement in physical coordinate. V naught is the initial displacement in physical coordinate. This is the mass per unit length. Vrs x is the arrayed mode eigenfunction or arrayed mode eigen shape mode shape. All are known to you. Integrate over the domain, we will get the QRG. Okay, because this will be given to you, not this. This is some non-physical. There is no physical meaning. Right? That's why they are called generalized coordinate or modal coordinate or principal coordinate. Okay. Any doubt so far? Please ask me. Anything you do not understood or getting difficulties? So this I am writing the basically the superposition that I assume, right? What I have assumed, Vx0 equals to, and we assume that Vxt equals to r equal to 1 to infinity Vrx, capital Vrx into Qrt, right? So what time t equal to 0, time t equal to 0, time t equal to 0, right? So this can be written as this. And I told that this is nothing but V naught. That notation I have used. And for this I have used the notation QRG. So just pre-multiplying both sides by m vsx, integrating over the domain 0 to L, invoking the orthogonality condition. So I'll get QR0, that is initial displacement in the modal coordinate. Similarly, initial velocity in the modal coordinate QR0 dot. Okay, it will be very simple. So QR0 I got integral of 0 to L m v0 into Vrx, small v0 into Vrx dx. This is the arrayed mode shape. This is the initial displacement mass per unit length integrated, you get this. QR0 initial velocity in the modal coordinate will be m just v0 dot, nothing else. In its analogous manner to the multi-degree of freedom discrete system. And once you got these initial displacement and velocity, you can solve each individual equation because everything is now known to you, right? You can solve the single degree of freedom equation, and then you can substitute Q1, Q2, Q3 in the modal summation. That is my assumed solution to get the aspect. So you have learned a big thing, okay? And how to solve a continuous system using mode superposition. And that now you see, okay, just I'll give a small idea. Now these quantities, that is Vrx, right? That is now exactly known to you, correct? You know exact manner for the simply supported beam or for cantilever beam or for fixed beam or for free beam for simple boundary condition, and if your beam is uniform in nature, okay? Right. Then you can exact manner you can find out the natural frequencies and the mode shapes, okay? So that means what I am trying to say is that in this expression, that is Vxt equals to Vrx Qrt, this is exactly known to you. But if the beam is tapered, twisted, or many other different boundary or critical condition is there, so you will not be able to find out this in an exact manner, okay? So then you have to do some assumed way you have to do. That actually lead to Rayleigh method or assumed mode kind of method, and that finally leads to to finite element method and similar type of discretization approaches, okay? That is beyond the scope of this or elemental discussion, okay? So we'll continue from here. In the next class we'll solve one problem. So now you know it, right? You know what, how to solve this equation, right? This QRT using Duhamel integral, again general expression I can write. So that if I use non-zero initial condition, let's say, so then QRT will be QR cosine omega t plus QR. Let me complete it. Okay, then it will be at the expression. So equation of motion is QR dot t plus omega r square QRT equals to right hand side some force, generalized force, okay, associated with the generalized coordinate small qr, generalized force associated with the generalized coordinate qr in the Rn. So what is the solution? QR2 is equals to QR0 cosine omega t. Remember, don't forget the single degree of freedom system, right? Divided by, if I call it undammed system, then it will be omega r, because we are considering undammed system only, okay, sine omega t plus then Duhamel integral, right? So m is 1 here, so 1 by omega r integral of 0 to t, right? Is qrt, then sine Duhamel integral omega t minus tau d tau. Done. That's all.
So that will be QR tau.
QR
Tau.
tau. This one, right?
Yes, sir.
This is t. Now everything is known to you. This is known to you. So let me write this equation as what is this? What is the numbering in 9? This is 10. This is 11. This is 12. This is 13. So QR0 dot. This you will get from which equation? 11 and 12. 11, 12. Omega r. This is also required, right? Omega r is required. Omega r is required. Omega r from where we'll find out which equation? Go back. Omega r, equation number 4. So I have summarized everything. Then QR tau is required. QR. Anytime t is required. That is you will get from, what is the, where is QRT? That I have not written as equation, right? Very bad. So QRT is nothing but this actually. Integral of 0 to L Vrx fxt dxt. Okay. That I am writing here, integral of 0 to L Vrx f of xt dt. This is known to you. This is known to you. Anything else required? Anything else? Obviously Vrx. And what is Vrx? Vrx from which equation? Which equation? Equation number 5. Equation number 5. Agree? Initial condition done. This is done, this is done. Anything else required? Nothing. Everything is known to you. In this equation, everything is known to you. This is nothing but the expression you have learned. If there is initial zero initial displacement velocity, this term got vanished. Then this one. Okay. Now, once you got the displacement, you can find out the bending moment, shear force, everything in a very simple manner. Okay. Right. Got it? You can find out the moment and the shear forces also. Because moment will be EI del to V by del x2, right? Okay. So let me finish it. Sorry. Moment will be EI del to Vy del x2. What is V? V is nothing but your that summation r equal to 1 to infinity Vx into Q Vrx into Qrt, right? So if I do it, then what we'll get? So m as a function of xt, this is obviously as a function of x and t. Okay, time dependent as well as space dependent. So these are fine and key. So that can be very easily written as by substituting this here. I can write r equal to 1 to infinity ei. Now it will be d2 prx by dx2 into q. Similarly, shear force. Now it will be classic. Shear force is S, right? I think S. S. A60 will be written as R equal to 1. So at any point, at any time, I can find out the bending moment and shear force due to the EI. Since EI is constant, I can take it out actually. But anyway, it doesn't matter. D2 Vrx by dx2 into QRT. This is known to you from this equation. Equation number 13 will give you this thing. These are all unknown to you. Some will and you can find it. Okay. Bending moment and shear force and the responses of the beam. Okay. This is not the response of the beam. QRT is the principal coordinate or the generalized coordinate. You have to substitute back it here. Here QRT. Then you will get the Vxt, that is the beam transverse displacement. Okay. So I'll stop it here. I'll be here for 2 more minutes. If you have any question, you can ask. So please try to see the derivation again from book or whatever I have discussed, going through the lecture again. Obviously, I'll upload the PPT also. Okay, and try to derive it by your own. Okay, then you'll get a feel of it. Okay, and it is nothing difficult is there. Okay, you see, it is just the step-by-step procedure. If you follow it properly and if you understood the previous things, then it will be very simple for you. Okay, so we will try to solve one problem in the tomorrow class. Okay, regarding this. Modal analysis or mode superposition for continuous system, and there will be one problem in the end semester from this thing. Okay. So your mid semester, that will be on the I think November, somewhere between 12 to 16 as per CR. Okay. So that will be on single degree of freedom system and multi degree of freedom system. The entire single degree, multi degree of freedom system. Okay. 30 mark, and end semester will be whole syllabus but with more emphasis on the continuous system, since the other exams not involve anything from continuous system. Okay. Any issue, any doubt, any clarification required? Okay. So I'll stop it here. Tomorrow we'll solve one problem. Okay. And then in the next week, I need basically 1 or maximum 2 classes. Okay. So 2 classes maximum I need to finish it. Okay, so I'll just tomorrow one example you do. So you have to see more examples, right? Because as I already told that one problem regarding this modal analysis should be there in the exam in the answer. Okay, so that you practice by yourself. Okay, next week I'll just I'll discuss about the Rayleigh's method. Okay, like we did for the multi-degree freedom system. So here also we can use the Rayleigh method for the continuous system. So that I'll briefly introduce it, and obviously we'll not go into the Rayleigh list or those advanced method. Okay, just Rayleigh method we will little bit discuss, and then I will finish this our course. Okay, and then so maybe that will take only one class. So next week one class will be good enough, and after that I am willing to listen carefully. I am willing to take 2 classes. I am willing to take, again listen carefully, I am willing to take 2 classes to clarify your doubts if you have any. Okay, so I want to take 2 classes. Okay, if you have any doubt regarding single degree of freedom system, multi degree of freedom system, or the continuous system. Okay, so I am to take 2 classes. If you have, you see, so CR, this is the responsibility of CR. So please let me know if anybody has doubt. I mean, more people has doubt. At least more than 10 or 15 people should be there. Okay, otherwise, if there is less than 10 people, then they can directly contact me and clarify that out. Right? If it is more than 10 to 15 people, then I will take 2 classes. Okay, maybe for each having 40 minutes, good enough. 40 minutes or 30-40 minutes, good enough to discuss about these things. If anybody has any difficulty in understanding any part of the syllabus that I have covered in this course, understood? So 2 classes. This is kind of a doubt clearing classes. Okay. If you have, otherwise if you don't have any doubt, I don't want to waste your time and also my time. Okay. So please let me know CR. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And otherwise, tomorrow I will just give one example, and in the next week, 1 class or maximum 2 class, I will finish this course. Okay. And I think maybe around 35 classes will be there, right? And that is good enough for this elementary course. Otherwise, it will be too difficult for you. Not for all people, but many people may find out difficult. And whatever I have discussed in these courses, that will be helpful if you go for the higher studies or you study on these related topics. Okay. Okay. So we'll meet on the next day with one example. Okay. Regarding this mode superposition. Okay. And CR, please let me know whether these 2 classes, doubt clearing classes, is required by substantial amount of people. Okay. Here.
Okay.
Thank you.